Hello, my name is Sarah Cantrell, and I work with students helping them prepare for the PSAT, the SAT, and the ACT. One of the most frequently asked questions that I encounter from parents is, when should my students take the tests that are out there, and what tests should they take? So I thought I'd take a few minutes and prepare a little video for you to answer these questions. Now, my perspective is from that of an Arkansan. I know what the course sequences are here in Arkansas, and I know what tests are being offered and are important to Arkansans. So if you are from out of state, this may or may not apply to you. It's really difficult for me to give you an average of this is what I think every kid should do. But by and large, I would say the kids fall into one of two categories. They're either going to be your average college-bound kid. And by that, I mean this. You're not playing sports, or at least it's not that you think that you're going to get a scholarship for the sport that you play. This is the kid that just wants to go to school. They'd like to get a scholarship, but they're not gunning for the best of the best. Nice, respectable scores, good grades, that kind of a thing. And then we have the academically gifted kid who is pushing to be the best of the best. And by this, I mean that you don't just want a good score. You want the best score. You don't just want a scholarship. You want the best scholarship that is available out there. And let me just backtrack a little bit to what I said about sports. If you think that you want a sports scholarship, an athletic scholarship of some kind, your timeline may be a little bit different simply because scouts look at you a little bit earlier than colleges look at other people. So that's a whole different video for a whole nother day. Okay, so your average college-bound kid is probably taking Algebra 2 as a junior. And this is really going to dictate when we want to start testing because you need Algebra 2 in order to maximize your test scores. The academically gifted kid, on the other hand, is going to take pre-cal as a junior. So they've already had Algebra 2 as a sophomore, and they're in pre-cal as a junior. So their math skills are ready just a little bit before your average college-bound kid, and that's going to affect when we do things as well. Your average college-bound kid, the focus is on the ACT. That's going to be your test. That's the test that you're going to use to get into college, and that's the test you're going to use to qualify for scholarships. The academically gifted kid, on the other hand, has 3 tests that they have to worry about: the PSAT, the SAT, and the ACT. So I'm going to run through both of these separately. For your average college-bound kid, I really don't recommend that you take your first real ACT until December of your junior year. Testing before this is just frustrating. They don't have the math skills that they need. It makes them feel stupid, and it kind of turns them off of the test. And we don't want them to go into testing feeling defeated. So if we wait a little while, wait until December of their junior year, they will emerge from the test feeling more confident and able to prepare for later tests. This test is also something called a TIR test. TIR is a service offered by ACT called Test Information Release. It costs about $20, and you add it to your shopping cart in the same way that you register for the ACT online. And the good thing about this is that it gives you a copy of the test and your answers back. And that is fabulous because not only do we get a score, but we get to know exactly what your student is missing, what it is that they're getting right, and that lets us better focus our preparation for the later tests. The second ACT will be in March of their junior year. In Arkansas, all juniors take the ACT during the school day for free. This is a wonderful thing because it opens access to the ACT to people who might not otherwise take it, but it's also kind of this extra chance during the school year for your student. The third test I recommend would be April of their junior year. This is another TIR test, so you would want to order that as well. That would help you prepare for the next test, which would be the June test. This would be the fourth ACT. This is also a TIR test. So Of these 4 ACTs that I recommend that your student take during his or her junior year, you would be able to get back 3 of them and their answers. And this is just gold for test prep tutors like myself because that gives us so much information about your student. The whole goal with this timeline is that your student gets the score that he or she wants before their senior year. That allows you to go into the summer, visit colleges, tour places, and know exactly what your scholarship and admission situation will be. Okay, your next track would be for the academically gifted kid. For an academically gifted kid, you're going to want to take the PSAT in October of their sophomore year. So this is an entire year before your average kid would even start thinking about testing. The PSAT is the National Merit Scholarship qualifying test for juniors. So if your kid has the potential to be or the desire to be the best of the best, to be in that top percentile in the nation, you need to start preparing very early in your sophomore year. By taking the PSAT as a sophomore, you not only get practice for the test, but it gives you the ability to look at that test and the answers and the explanations and kind of see where you are as far as your ability, what you need to work on, and that type of stuff. Then the next time that you take it will be in October of your junior year. At this point, this is the National Merit Qualifying Test. It's a one-shot deal. You take it on this one Wednesday of your October of your junior year, and you either make it or you don't. If you're in the top about 1 percentile, it's getting a little bit harder every year, so that percentile shrinks. Then you could be named National Merit Semifinalist during the fall of your senior year. National Merit Semifinalist, and then further on in the competition, National Merit Finalist, has big scholarship dividends for you. This is a national recognition, and it doesn't necessarily come with any money just from them, but schools, universities pay big scholarships often to students who have this honor, this designation. After the PSAT of your junior year, you want to go ahead and take the SAT in December. You're in tip-top test-taking shape at this point. You've been preparing for the PSAT. It's fresh in your mind, so it's easier to just kind of roll on with the preparation, take that SAT, which you're going to have to do anyway in order to be a National Merit Finalist. And again, this is another video, which I will do later, explaining the whole scholarship competition to you. But take it in your December year, and then of your junior year, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. The goal with this type of preparation is to finish completely with the PSAT and SAT before you even touch the ACT. They're two very different tests, and so oftentimes students get confused about what the test writers of one test want versus the other. So in my experience, it's better for students to finish with one before starting the other. A lot of the skills will transfer, so they're not losing any ground, but their scores maximize this way. This is also when you want to pick up the ACT. Usually, the SAT is the first week of December and the SAT is the second week of December. So it's going to be a very busy December for your academically gifted kid. And this is all the same information from the average kid. This is the TIR test, which you would want to order so that you can get your test and answers back. And then you would take the March test, which all students take. You would take the April test, which is another TIR test. And then if you don't have the score that you want, you would go ahead and take the June test. And again, the goal here is to get your goal score before you start your senior year. All right, let me give you this information in a little bit different of a format. So here is a timeline from August of your sophomore year, when you start your sophomore year, to January of your senior year. And you really want to have your ACT score by that time. So December of your senior year would be your last time to qualify for most scholarships. Most scholarships. This isn't a hard and fast rule, but you would want to talk with your university to make sure that taking the ACT beyond December of your senior year would be a good idea. Okay, so for gifted students, you would start in your sophomore year, continuing through the December ACT of your junior year. All students, including those gifted students, would pick up with the ACT in December, continue that through June. And that actually leaves us with 3 tests your senior year: September, October, and December. And this is kind of our buffer zone. If you don't get that score that you want by June, this gives us 3 opportunities to get it. But it's a whole lot of stress that you can avoid if you manage to make your goal score by June of your junior year. Okay, so I am a test prep teacher, and this is the other thing that I get asked. Well, when should we start preparing? Well, for you gifted kids, you start intensely preparing for the PSAT in August, and you roll it right up to October. I meet with students 8 times for the 8 weeks preceding the October test. Plus, I have a boot camp that I put them through during the summer, so they emerge from that incredibly prepared. You would then continue that preparation in November to make them completely ready for the December SAT, and hopefully that is the last time that they take it. Then you kind of take a little bit of a break, and then you would do some ACT prep somewhere during the spring. Now, you don't have to do it for the entire 5 months. You would want to kind of ramp it up and pull it back, ramp it up and pull it back. You don't want to burn out your student with ACT prep because it is not the most fun thing in the world to do. So I recommend kind of a 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, and kind of roll that into the testing schedule so that it ramps up right before a test and then we take a break so that people don't get so burnt out that they shoot themselves in the foot. Then that gives us just a little bit of time if we need to in the summer to take a break before we come back during our safety zone time. Now, I always book up in December because I have these seniors who all of a sudden realize, oh no, this is the last time I can take this. And I really don't like that. It stresses me out, it stresses them out. I want to make sure that all my seniors have their scores before that December test so that they're not so stressed out come December of their senior year. I'd love to answer any questions that you have, so contact me if you have any. I'm always happy to help people that have questions, whether it's a student or a parent. Hope you've enjoyed this video.